All right, we're going to go ahead and get this show on the road. You've been waiting long enough. Let's go ahead and bring Mark out here. This is Mark Rober. A few of you might know who he is.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, we'll have you have a seat right here.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and sit down there.
All right.
So we know who Mark is. We'll just get on with the show here. Now we have the real star of the show, the illustrious, the amazing, the one and only Alan Penn! Alan Penn! All right.
How dare you floss on my stage? I'm out of
Just a
here.
prank, bro.
This is wow, that's funny. When I came out, I thought it was a warm reception, but then when you came out, I was like, okay. Whose idea was this, first of all?
It was theirs.
Okay, who? I want to
It
know.
was theirs.
It was right there. I knew it.
They thought it would be really funny.
That's pretty good. But I'm the one who pranks, all right? You're all expect a glitter bomb on all your porches when you get home tonight.
So, Mark Rober, former NASA engineer. Did anyone know that? If you weren't aware, Mark Rober used to work at NASA. And then, did you get fired? How did
I
that-
did, yeah, I got fired. I don't talk about that part very much.
But you've since become a YouTuber.
Yeah, became a YouTuber. Yeah, that's right. Keep going. I'm liking this intro,
And
Alan.
is now the what would you like to call it, the founder of Crunch Labs?
Yep. We started a company called Crunch Labs, toy
Are there
company.
Any crunch heads in the audience?
Yeah,
Any
Crunch
crunchers?
Heads in the house. So yeah, it's good to be here. This is, I gotta say, and I feel like we both know William pretty well.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. This looks
That this
pretty
is
good.
happening?
I mean, it's like in this state showing up.
And it's like not on fire right
yeah,
now?
that's right.
I'm surprised too.
Yeah.
Everyone who showed up here is a hero just for trusting that there was gonna
Yeah.
be something here.
Yeah.
So give it up for yourselves.
Yeah, that's right.
For
You're the
surviving.
real MVPs.
Yes. All right, so Mark, I'm sure everyone here has seen the promotional material for this event, and we did promise that you were gonna teach us how to fart on command.
Wait, wasn't there actually something about smelling me or something?
Yeah, that was gonna be part of the Q&A. I think
Yeah.
was we were gonna let people smell you.
There was like a while, like somehow comments kept coming in on. I was like getting all these things about people saying they want to smell me. I'm like, what is this? And then finally, I saw William on TikTok or something saying something. I was
That
like,
was this
okay.
event. That was this event. So
That was unsanctioned.
you showed up and that you agreed to be smelled
So he smelled.
and to fart.
Instead of like a picture line, it's just a smell line.
So, I mean, like, what do you have like coming up? I
Yeah.
think people want like a sneak preview, right?
Yeah, sure. We're all friends here. This feels like no one's recording this.
You've all signed an NDA by being here, by the way.
Yeah. So I've been making videos for like a little over a decade now. As you guys, and I like to plan. They're planned pretty far out in advance. So we're currently working on our the video that will launch the end of next summer, maybe closer to December, and then we have like 10 videos between now and then.
I don't even have videos planned like 2 weeks ahead of time. You've got like a year?
Yeah, well, the thing that also helps is I only make like once a month, if that. So it allows
right.
to like kind of get out in the future.
I think I do maybe every 2 months.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
true,
not.
actually. So I will say, I'll give you the next video, because I don't think anyone, but this is the
Okay.
crowd. See, normally I could say my next video, and it's like, there's no way anyone's going to make that. but with this crowd, you know.
I guarantee you there's an exhibit somewhere right now that's better than whatever your next
Yeah,
video is
yeah,
gonna be.
that's true. No, there's like 80% of the exhibits. All right, we have the world record for the world's largest Nerf gun. The next one is the world's smallest Nerf gun, and we're gonna go down in scales. We're going all the way down to DNA. We are folding DNA into the shape of a Nerf gun.
Of a Nerf
Yeah.
launcher device.
Yeah, it's like 10,000 times smaller than like the width of a human hair.
And it fires like a Nerf dart.
So that one will probably just look like a Nerf dart.
It's not gonna function.
Yeah. I mean, don't be like, oh, it's not gonna function. Like that's lame now. You freaking make a DNA gun.
I was literally just here telling people that I want to shoot live bees out of a Nerf dart launcher. Would it be able to do that? Would it be able to fire viruses?
So this is the thing. In talking with this guy, they're like at the Salk Institute. We're like coming up with new research ideas where you can like glob onto a virus and then actually like inject it with like a Nerf dart of like antibodies and proteins that will kill viruses. Like,
how are you making these things so useful? Like,
yeah, that's forward thinking. For this one, it'll just be that, but like there's literally a potential collab where we do like a research paper. Again, this is all off the books. You guys are getting the sneak peek here, but I'm pretty stoked about it.
you heard it here. If you say any of this to anyone, you will go to jail. That will be Mark Rober's video after that one is how many people can I put in jail?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was a picture that I saw on Reddit.
Oh no. Oh.
Have you guys seen this picture?
Oh yeah.
It's at a Jimmy Kimmel dinner party, and it's filled to the brim with A-list celebrities. And also, People Magazine cropped you out of it, by the way. I don't know if you
What?
Yeah. So, on the itty-bitty side of this picture is Mark Rober. And in People Magazine, they published the picture, and they cropped it just so that he was out of it.
That's not true. Well, how did you know I was in it then?
I saw it on Reddit first, but then they
I
made
see.
it smaller for the publication.
I see.
So, what's Jimmy Kimmel like?
Yeah.
What's it like being famous?
Yeah. This is about bills. We're not going in it. That's sticky territory. Yeah. It was like next question.
What's it like being friends with Mr. Beast?
Yeah, okay, yeah. Jimmy's a cool guy. Yeah, Mr. Beast. Actually, I think I was gonna go out there next week. Yeah, he does like these big challenge videos.
Mm-hmm.
We were gonna try and do one where I was gonna go out there. We had a backpack. We were gonna put it in a park, and if someone took it, there's like $1,000 in it. If they took it and ran away, then it would like obviously fart spray their on their pants, little glitter. We had like a PA in the thing that we were gonna be like, I am a thief, like try and embarrass them, like stuff like that. IP sitting down, like say stuff like people in the park will be like, what? And then we did a test in Greenville and we put it out that like his producers were trying it and no one was stealing it. So like people in North Carolina are just way more honest than San Francisco.
Than me for sure.
Because we did a show, Alan and I. Co-stars
Tell
right
us
here.
about the television show.
Yeah. So we did a prank out here where we had bikes. Alan and the team, everyone made up a bike that would be stealable, and then yours was amazing. I really liked yours. It had like an electromagnet, right?
I built a bicycle that was held together with powerful electromagnets. So if someone tried to ride off on it who wasn't authorized, all of the magnets turned off at the same time. And so the bike falls apart into like 3 pieces.
It melts. It was so cool to see.
We got a guy when he was on the bike. That was an accident. So it was supposed to fall apart while they were like rolling it away. This guy got on the bike, started pedaling, and then it fell apart under him. And I was afraid we had broken all of his teeth because he landed face first on the pavement. But that didn't happen, and it did make it on TV.
Yeah, but the point of that though is like, we had these bikes out for like minutes. In some ways, like we were just getting back to set it up, and they were stolen. So
And you don't think that would happen in Greenville?
Yeah, I think that's the conclusion. That wouldn't happen in Greenville. So, Yeah, we might have to film that Mr. Beast video out here in San Francisco.
All right, all
That's
right.
the punchline.
Is there now you've done Team C's.
Yep.
You've done Team Trees. I actually see this a lot whenever I mention bees in videos. Is there going to be a Team Bees? And if not,
I know.
why do you hate the bees?
It is kind of this thing where it's like we want to do some social good, especially, for the planet.
Yeah.
But it has to rhyme with seas and trees, obviously. So
What Team Knees? Like for like old people?
yeah, like orthopedic stuff. We could do Team Breeze, maybe something with like
air?
carbon from the air.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, nothing in the works right now on that, but
Okay.
yeah, I think long term, it's such a lovely moment. The cool thing about like Team C's and Team Trees, like the average donation was like median was like $4, right? So that's like tooth fairy money. That's like bake sale money, and of course that doesn't cure fix climate change. But what it's about is like then people are like, especially the young folk are like, look, I'm on Team C's. If I see, a water bottle at the beach or just anywhere, I pick it up. I turn off the lights at home, right? So it's like it becomes part of who they are. And like that's the real power to those moves. You have the money that, sure, there's 30 million less pounds of trash in the ocean. There's 20 million more trees. But like the real power is like what it does to those hearts and minds and what they go on to do. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's hear it for that. When do I when can I get a Crunch Lab box? I don't want to pay for it though.
yeah, when you go on the site and order it, dog.
But like what if
After that entrance, you kidding me?
what if you just like gave me one though?
Yeah, that is an option, which I will not exercise. Yeah, and Crunch Labs has been also incredibly lovely. That actually, I will say this about Jimmy Kimmel. That was Jimmy Kimmel's idea. We did a fundraiser for my son, who has, he's on the autism spectrum. And that night after he did the thing and Jimmy's thing, he's like, dude, you have to do something where it's like, you can only learn so much passively watching video. Like, you should do something. And so then it kind of snowballed from there. And that's been just so delightful to see so many folks, engage in that.
It is legitimately a very cool looking kit. I haven't been able to play with it, but I am a little jealous of the kids that do get the chance because it's designed impeccably.
And then you also get to learn the physics principles. You're in the trenches. You shoot the frisbee flower, and then you find out why frisbees fly, right? And we do have more plans. I wish I could announce something right now.
Why don't you announce it?
No,
Come
I
on,
can't.
Can you give a
No.
hint?
It's off the books.
Oh.
Let me see. We'll be joined. We're likely going to be joined. I don't even want to say. I feel like it's so great. Someone who's like one of my personal science heroes is interested. We're like, there's going to be something big together with that personal science hero, and it's not Alan. I'll tell you that much
Are you
right now.
Well, if it was,
he
wouldn't be able to tell you about it if it was.
And then the other cool thing, we do have other boxes that aren't necessarily. So the Bill box, the first one's like 8 to 12 years old. There's some stuff kind of in the pipeline.
Older?
Kind of cool. So it might involve some programming stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was. I think that was a good amount of information. That really.
There's a lot of hot goss I just dropped right now.
My appetite is wet for science.
I'll sit up. I don't want to get canceled with you on this.
Yeah, normally we have an editor take out those parts,
I
but
see.
we don't have that safety net here.
We're live, baby. This is
100%
showbiz.
Live. Well, I mean, have you had a chance at all to look at the floor yet?
I did.
to
I
see-
walked through, and every booth. I kind of just did a quick walk up there, but like it looks. This is amazing. I also love this. Like this community. This is my community. We are nerds, right?
Yes.
This is amazing.
Part of the pitch for this event was a place where all the people like us could be and nobody would make fun of us. Because it's just us.
Yeah, we're not picked last in dodgeball. Finally.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like the idea that like as an engineer, as a maker, what a superpower to create something. Like you have an idea in your mind that doesn't exist. You can will it into existence. And that is just a superpower that I think extends even beyond making stuff, just like creating things in your life. And just like it's like such a wholesome source of joy for me
Yeah.
still, right?
Yeah.
With the monthly videos and the things we make, but that extends down because I've been doing this since I was, the age of these guys here in the front row, right?
You can say babies. You
Yeah,
can say
I haven't knew
little
it since I
babies.
was a baby. But it's like, so to come together and to celebrate that and to move that forward, it's like never been a better time on this planet to have that kind of brain than right now.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's the amount of just like the resources that are available now to people. Like,
Yeah.
you would never be able to like 3D print something on your own in like the early 90s, right?
Yeah, 3D print it, like
2000s.
CAD it up, prototype it, make a friggin' video about it, share it with people, get feedback.
Do you have any tips for anyone out here who's like looking to invent something or make something other than, of course, getting your year-long subscription to Crunch Labs?
That's right.
Other than that,
Giving me some good assists here, Alan. Thank you. I think, you just gotta make stuff, right? Same with videos. You just gotta get the ideas out of your brain because they'll suck and they should suck, right? Like.
oh yeah, none of my ideas have ever been good. I
No,
just
yeah.
keep
I mean,
going.
especially in your case, they will suck. But like, it's almost worse. This is something like I feel strong about. It's almost worse if you make something and it works out of the gate, because like if you think about like a 3D topical kind of map of mountains, and let's say the best idea is this peak here. And like if you make something that kind of works, it's like a local maxima-ish, and you're like, oh, I'm good, you stop trying, right? But it's like you need to like really in the prototype phase just try a bunch of different things so then you can start optimizing up the best hill, and then you get to that like global maxima,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's like that is, I think, the biggest mistake I think people make when they want to get into creating and making, and I'm sure I'm preaching to the choir here to all of you, but basically it's like you want your first thing to be your final build, to be the perfect thing. And then when it's not, it's disappointing. But if you approach that first thing as, this is a prototype, it's supposed to suck, it's supposed to be quick and dirty, all I'm supposed to do here is just learn for the final thing. You do a bunch of those, and then you're ready finally to be like, okay, this is the global maxima, I'm going for that.
Right.
Like that, skipping the prototype phase and lots of prototypes, is like, I think, the most important thing to wrap your brain around. And that includes like, your first 10 videos, consider those your prototypes, and then eventually you start getting better. But I think people get discouraged and quit when their first attempt isn't what they see from your channel or my channel or some of these other things. But it's like, we've been prototyping forever. We just show the final thing on camera, or at least I do. I think you show
Right,
me.
no, I show a lot less of that and a lot more of the
Yeah.
things when they're just goo or fire.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I mean, to your point of like the local maxima, I think that is like a fantastic concept because sort of like if you sort of accidentally find yourself there, the trouble is when you stray too much for it, you end up going down
That's
without
right.
realizing that there's a bigger peak off to the side.
Yeah.
And it's like that idea of even when you've got like a small success or like, if you're cursed enough to have something work well enough
Yeah.
the first time, to not realize then that's like, it's okay to play around with that and have it sort of work worse on the way to eventually working better. You don't want to like get stuck in that little window of like, oh, well, it's like, it's kind of there, and if I stray too far, it's gonna stop working. But if you just keep going, there's probably going to be like an even better version of what you've made. Like
Yeah.
the plush walruses that I have in my merch van.
Oh, hey
right by
now.
the giant red among. Oh, I see.
Yeah, those are the
I
ones
know,
you threw out at the
I
beginning,
know,
Alan.
See, no. Someone here in the purple hair. I see that you've got the Canadian United
Oh,
Media.
there you go. Yeah.
Thank you so much. The amazing thing about that shirt is actually I'm legally not allowed to have any of those, but other people are.
I just saw that video last night. You need to watch it. It's hilarious.
If that person were to give me that shirt, I would have to burn it, but they can wear it just fine.
That's amazing. Yeah, just to finish that thought, I like that your point that like you're gonna go down on that local maxima, which is why you have to just go bonkers. Like you have to try a bunch of different things that are totally disparate, right? Don't just, as engineers, we have this thing, and I saw this at NASA. I saw this at Apple. Did I mention I work for NASA?
No, I didn't hear the Apple part, but yeah, I think you may have mentioned the NASA part.
You see this a lot at NASA. I saw a lot at Apple. As engineers, we optimize. We're really good at optimizing things, but we optimize the wrong problems, right? You're optimizing this hill, and really you should be zooming out and like taking just a totally different approach. Yeah.
I used to be ashamed of this story, but now I take it in stride. When I was fresh out of undergrad, I had an interview with SpaceX, and I was like really jazzed, young electrical engineer, and during the entire interview, nobody corrected me. I kept referring to Elon Musk as Eli Musk because I didn't really know who he was.
That's amazing.
And I used to be ashamed of that, and I now could never be prouder of the fact that I didn't know what his actual name was.
I didn't
for
know
an
that
entire
story.
job interview.
That's great.
Is that better than working at NASA? No. Is it funnier? I don't know. You be the judge of that. So, Mark, would you be open to a Q&A session if everyone promises not to ask to smell you?
Yeah, that's the one condition.
Okay. So sorry for the clickbait. Sorry for the bait and switch. Mark is not actually available for smelling, and he's not going to teach you how to fart on command. We just said that to get you through the door. But I believe we've got a mic. Yes, we've got a mic to the side. We've already got a line.
Here we go.
So let's open it up to Q&A for Mark Rober.
Okay, Q&A sesh.
Oh, do we have the mic on? You got the mic on? All right, here we go. Caller number 1.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for all your awesome content.
Sure.
What I'm curious about is, I know you already know a lot of, like your breadth of knowledge on various engineering subjects is pretty vast, but is there one particular field you're very interested in learning more about? And thank you.
Yeah, good question. I mean, I think the whole AI thing is kind of interesting. I've had my pulse on that for a while, I think, like a lot of us. But, you know, ChatGPT just coming onto the scene. Are you using ChatGPT at all in like your workflow?
I will admit it. So I don't use it for voiceover. A lot of comments are suggesting that I use like voiceover AI, which is weird because it tells me that people are having such a hard time distinguishing it now that they think real voiceover.
Yeah, we had one made by like 11 Labs, like off the books, and it's like someone played me on my team because we have authorized. They played me this thing, and I was like, "Yeah, that sounds fine." And they're like, "You realize that you didn't record that?" I was like, "What?" It's insane.
I do use it occasionally to help with writing parts of scripts.
Same.
Where it's like, if it's something where it's like, I know like the main points and I just like need to get to the next step, sometimes I'll plug it in, just see what it comes up with. And a lot of times it's like, if not usable, then the start of something usable.
Yeah, or just gives you ideas. Like I was trying to think of a clever name. I did a video recently about wiffle ball. And I was like, give me 20 nicknames for a pitcher who would be a wiffle ball, who would get a lot of strikeouts. And like, so many of them are dumb, but a couple I was like, oh, that's a banger. That's really good. Or like, if I'm like kind of stuck on writing like a portion of the video, and I'm like, how would you can ask it, this is a good prompt you guys should know too. It's like, how would you explain this to an 8th grader? You know, how would you explain the Magnus effect to an 8th grader? And then they'll just have like a sentence or two that's like, oh, that's a good point that I wasn't really bringing up, and you kind of fold it in. So it's not the point where you can like write the script, but like as you get stuck, I find it's a good like unsticking tool.
How would you feel about people using it for like homework or papers? That gets a little.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that too much, but I will say the tool exists, so it's like you might as well learn to, when they graduate school. I don't know. It's tricky because you need to learn to think and reason things out in an essay, right?
Okay.
Let's not go down the ethics of AI in this one. Next
that
question.
That was a great answer. Next question.
Hello, Mark.
Hey.
Thank you so much for hosting this. You're such an inspiration to aspiring engineers like myself. Something I've noticed when I'm building something or engineering something is that, you know how there's always prototypes, you can always improve the next prototype. How do you determine when something is good enough for a video, especially when there's not official engineering constraints?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I get this a lot, and I need to figure it out because like I don't feel like that's a problem for me. Like I feel like we kind of have an objective that we're going for. I'm just kind of thinking back on a video. I mean, like egg drop from space. We took an egg up to space and we dropped it. In that case, like good enough was getting the egg somehow to drop from space. And in that, we do pivot sometimes, right? Like in that video, we were trying to like guide the egg down, and then we were having trouble, and no one would talk to us for some reason. And halfway through the video, someone's like, yeah, it's because you're basically trying to make a guided missile. So like anyone who knows how to do this is sworn and signed a bunch of documents from the government not to tell you how to do this,
There's a
right?
reason why phone GPS stops working above a certain altitude.
Yeah.
It's not because GPS doesn't work past there. It's because they don't want you to be able to use your phone to do anything like that.
We learned that. So like there's moments where we pivot, but I don't know, maybe I think just like once you've gotten 90% of what you want out of it and you can tell the story that you want to tell, for me, I guess I don't have a problem cutting bait and just saying that's good enough. That is the power of storytelling and narrative, and you can own up to the parts that didn't work, right? I guess that is good advice, where it's like sometimes the best videos are kind of the failures-ish, and if you own those and let people explain to them why it didn't work and what happened, you know, which is kind of what we did in the egg drop, then it's like they're there with you. So, I mean, that's a narrative device you can use to if you want to make something to get it out there.
Thank you so much.
Sure. Hey, buddy. How much
All
time
right.
we got?
Next question. Yeah, we're good for at least this question.
'Kay.
Okay. All right.
Will we be making any more glitter bombs?
Oh, good question.
Well, yeah, what are we on? Would that be number 5?
Yeah, we did
6?
5. I officially said last year was the last one. It's funny we were talking about in San Francisco. I had an incident with my car. So, needless to say, I didn't fix all crime in San Francisco. And so there will be one more glitter bomb this year on the streets of San Francisco. This one's really the final one because the behind the scenes story. Last year we had like we kind of put them in cars and we got some pretty good footage. But that was like a Hail Mary with like 3 days left before the video. So this year, normally with these stupid glitter bombs, we spend all year designing them truly, and then we finally get them out in like November 1st, which ideally you just want them out on porches and out for as long as possible. So we make like 20. We just like flood them with glitter bombs. That's how we get the footage. So this year, we were just like, we're going to simplify it. We've got one just for cars, and we've had it out for like 2 months already. We're going to keep getting footage for another 6 months. So we're just going to have some like incredible footage for these car thieves. And we think it's like kind of like an organized crime ring-ish thing. So kind of like we did with India and like we followed it down to the source. We're kind of trying to do that with like, who are these people that steal these packages in San Francisco?
These glitter bomb videos are like Avengers movies. You keep saying it's the last one.
Gotta give the people what they want.
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah, great question.
Who do we got next? Oh, we got to raise the mic a little bit. There you go. You got it.
Yeah.
Hello, Mark.
Hey.
I'm Iden. Now I can say we officially met. So my question is, out of all the inventions you ever made, except for NASA and the glitter bombs, which one is your favorite?
That's a tough one.
That is. I feel like I should have an answer for this. What is my favorite?
I know. It's what's my favorite Mark Rober invention?
Yeah. Out of all the inventions,
I don't know either.
What's the favorite one? I think.
I gotta say, all right, I'm gonna jump in and say that the one that I was like, man, I wish I had done that. The bowling ball, the one with James Bruton.
James Bruton.
and-
Is James here?
yeah, there he is.
Hey, James Bruton.
Mr.
Okay,
Bruton.
yeah. Let's do that.
I think he wanted to ask you about something about resistor networks and trying to do the math on
He
that
said,
one.
this is a great one. So that's James Bruton. He's an incredible creator from the UK. So he's like a toy designer. And by the way, like, toy design is amazing. Like, if you a true engineer, I feel like the best engineers are toy designers because you're so over constrained with like cost and manufacturability. So to make something really cool, and James does like a video a week. He's a savant with this stuff. And we started looking at like, how can we make a bowling ball that does this? And James does like the BB-8 stuff, and and immediately we're like, okay, we just need to call up James. And he was such a delight to work with. If you don't know his channel, you have to follow it. But that was such a great one. Anytime you can have something where it's like, when people bowl, they automatically lean.
Oh,
right?
just subconsciously, like
subconsciously
watching the
trying to do it. So it's like, hey, we're engineers. If it doesn't exist, we will it into existence. So working with James on that, going over to the UK, filming that was such a delight. And when people come by Crunch Labs, you kind of have a museum of stuff. That's one of my favorite ones to show them. You pull the bowling ball apart, show the heavy mass that, at the end it's pretty simple. It's just like a servo that moves a mass that changes creates a moment that just turns the ball, and it's like just communicates with RF. So it's like in its essence, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
But I'll choose that one as my favorite because it is just such a delightful thing that everyone resonates with. And like those are the banger videos when like there's that relatability that it's like, oh yeah, I wish I had that, or it's like I wish I either had thought of that or like that would solve a problem. Like I don't know, giving legs to a snake, Alan.
Well, you know what? They lost them, and I felt bad, and people were very angry about the previous snake video, and so I thought I could make it up to them, and somehow it made them even angrier.
Oh really? That created a controversy?
Well, because I said some stuff about God where I was like, God took their legs away. I'm gonna give them back, and they're like, you can't do that to God.
Again, yeah. Let's just not get canceled here. We're gonna end the Q&A on this side.
We're gonna be selling this chair later. We're gonna be auctioning it.
If you want to smell me, it's this chair. That's the key.
Who do we got next? Next question.
We probably
right
got.
there.
Are we okay? Time? We got. I mean, I'll stay here for as long. Oh, we got 5 minutes.
All
This is
right,
great.
all right.
Hey, buddy.
How do you keep the mindset of just keep on prototyping and working and building and not give up and not get frustrated?
Good question. I do think it's there's this balance of setting attainable goals for yourself, and so it feels good to finish a build, to accomplish the thing that you set off. So if you set realistic goals, you kind of have these milestones along the way where it's like, oh, okay, I did that, right? And you get a hit of dopamine from that. And so I think it's this combination of setting a realistic goal for yourself, accomplishing it, and then leveling up. And then you could set a bigger one, right? And then eventually you're making Nerf guns out of DNA, right? You kind of
Are there any video ideas that didn't pan out, footage that never made it to public? I think all the YouTubers that I know, we're pretty bad at it, and so we've got a lot of videos that don't get published either because the build just didn't work out, or we kind of made the video and realized it sucked. Do you not have any? You don't have any misses?
No, I mean, I just feel I move the goalpost if it's not working, right? The egg drop's a good example. I really wanted to guide that thing onto a mattress, and then we just changed the video and said, okay, instead we're gonna do a NASA landing EDL thing, and just, you know what I mean? So it's
Right.
Honestly, also because they're so far out in advance, by the time we invest all that time, we'll just...
Oh, you can't let it.
You can't let it go, and you just... The
unpublish.
beauty of people think, oh, I'm a good builder, and I have an amazing team I work with and stuff, but it's I'm an okay builder, I'm a pretty good storyteller, right? I love using stories to get, inspire people to get more into this, get kids stoked about science and engineering, there's nothing really remarkable about making an obstacle course for squirrels. Those builds weren't very hard. Other people had made freaking videos about squirrels in their backyard. But if you just name one Fat Gus, then it's people love it, right? And you
Yes.
tell a cool story around it because as humans, we've evolved to tell stories. Long before there was written communication, we communicated through stories. And so if you could just make a video that creates a visceral response that makes
Yeah.
the viewer feel something, you
Yes.
just have to feel something, then they'll talk about it and they'll share it. So
Well, I think you've made everyone here feel something, and we want to thank you for being here to communicate with us.
Wow, good segue, Alan. Good segue.
So
Hey.
let's give it up for Mark Rober, everyone.
Yes. Now that's a standing out. That's right. Hey, thank you guys, and keep up the great work. I love this crowd. You guys are changing the world.
Open Sauce is back. An event described as better than expected. And I can't believe it wasn't a disaster. Come see groundbreaking technology like this thing.
So creepy.
And smell over 150 of the best looking creators on YouTube. It's all happening at Cow Palace. June 15th and 16th, San Francisco, Cow Palace. Get your tickets now at opensauce.live.